All right. We're up and at 'em. Up and at 'em. About to get into it. Let me just let the city chat know we're live. Live. And go into this joint. The homies are here. Mumble facts. No cap. Fear God. What's good, y'all? What up? Testing. All right. Make sure that audio is good. Roofless. Yes, sir. We lit. We are live, Fago. Man, oh man. Mike Wang is dropping information left and right. So much info. This what up, Brandon Jackson? What's going on? Red in the building. What's good, brother? Jesus Castillo. Coach Z out there. Man, oh man. Let's put on the headset. It's storming over here.
W's in the chat, bro.
Hold on a second. Let me put on this headset. All right, let's try that again.
W's in the chat, bro.
Let's get it. What up, Babacar? I've been practicing rhythm shooting on every shot I take. Wish I would have done it sooner. Super W's, man. So much to talk about. Like I said, Mike Wang, he's out there dropping information. I'm going to share that with you guys in this live stream before we even make a video. I figured it'd be good to go live, share with you, and I'll make a video afterwards, keeping you guys up to date just so it's on the channel. The video uploaded today. Thank you for watching, by the way, Yeti Woods. Nathaniel Diaz, what up, man? Who's that? Awesome Austin in the building. What up, man? The J is an H in Spanish. Is Jesus. Hey, you didn't know I was Puerto Rican? Maybe he didn't know I was Puerto Rican. What did you think I was? I'm curious. He said the J is an H in Spanish. In English, it's Jesus. Spanish, Jesus. Light the stream. We're light the stream up. Donnie Fizzle, love in the building. Are we gonna just get fed lies? Are we just gonna get fed lies from Mike Wang? Well, if he's lying, let's say for instance Mike Wang is lying. What up, Unscripted? People are gonna flip out. I don't think he could lie about the things he's talking about. The other dude, Guitar. What up, man? Well, one of the first things that I want to talk about, that I want to bring up, is the improvements to dribbling. Let me pull it up on this screen so I can read it for you guys. Are there any changes to dribbling besides the new controls for signature size ups? The new controls for signature size ups. You know, there's two different ways to activate signature size ups now. You could flick your stick, the dribbling stick left and right, and it'll activate a dribble size up, or you can just continue to flick up on the stick and it'll activate an alternative dribble size up. Kev Reacts, what up, man? All City, do you like how 2K resells news about their games, or would rather them tell us news in one go? Do you like how 2K resells news? I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that, but there is a ton of news that they're giving out here. And it says, dribbling has changed a lot. Mike Wang responding to this question, saying dribbling has changed a lot in NBA 2K26. Branching and chaining. This is good stuff here, y'all. Y'all gonna love this by the end. Dribbling has changed a lot in NBA 2K26. Branching and chaining moves will generally feel more responsive. And that's like fluff. We already know that's fluff. And you can interrupt more moves than you could in 2K25. Again, more fluff. Green or miss. Yes, pose, go to shots, facts, no cap. We made an effort to make dribbling faster. Now, what does that mean? We made an effort to make dribbling faster. Well, hopefully it responds. From the glimpse that we saw with Luca dribbling the ball, it didn't look too much faster. But they said they made an effort to make dribbling faster and the inputs more responsive as well. You'll find some great new content as well as the return of some old favorites, Pippin's behind the back rap. Now, if you guys don't know what he's talking about there, it's like a game changer in regards to dribbling while you're going down court. Oh man, just the idea. Uncle Demi said, 2K Insider Uncle Demi mentioned that we're going to be going back to 2K19 type of vibes. He didn't say this last year. He did not say this last year. Adding Pippins behind the back is a game changer and what that means for the game. There's like you're going downhill and you see a defender, coming to cut you off. You can split two defenders with Pippins behind the back while you're moving. 2K has eliminated over the last few years. Some of you guys new to 2K don't even know what the moving behind the backs are because 2K completely removed them from 2K games. The effectiveness of behind the backs, and we're not talking about in the half court set, standing still and triggering Jamal Murray or what we got today with like a Trae Young or something. We're not talking about those type of behind the backs. We're talking about on the move. You'll get pushed forward with the behind the back Scottie Pippen, the rap. He says, so I think dribble heads will be able to create some nice highlights this year. For those of you who do know, maybe some of you guys in the chat, for those of you who do know about the behind the back, Scottie Pippen's behind the back, let me know how y'all feel about that. We do need the pimp clothes, or we do Scottie Pippen behind the back. Straight on the move. Mumble facts, reverse layups, and quick scoop layups is what the homie said. Now, the effectiveness of this dribble move, there's no sense of incorporating it into NBA 2K26 or even announcing this, that you put it back in the game, unless it has the same level of effectiveness that it was known to have. It was replaced with crossovers, but not nearly as effective. Facts. Exactly. Thank you for saying that, Christian man. He's exactly right. The behind the backs were replaced with crossovers. And, there's only one really main go-to crossover that's effective. And I would say if we was to put percentage on effectiveness, the crossover, I think it's the Fox crossover, it's probably about 50% less effective, and people still use that crossover effectively in NBA 2K25 because everything is so slow and clunky. If the game is sped up, like they're promising, the game speed is supposed to be sped up, and we have more dribble animations that are effective on the move, like the Scottie Pippen behind the back, we are looking at NBA 2K19 sort of vibes in regards to speed and fluidity on the court. I haven't liked a single 2K since NBA 2K14. I've been playing since the OG on Dreamcast. I can't trust anything 2K and Mike Wang says. I will see when I get the game if they're telling the truth. Chris Reyes said, yo, City, do you know any mentorship on this YouTube game? Do you do any mentorship on this YouTube game? I'm always willing to help. The best way to get mentorship from me is just to get to know me. Work your way into the rec waters, work your way into getting runs. And, I give out information about YouTube. No problem. I'm happy to share, because the information is less than half the battle. The execution is on you. So even with the information, I can't tell you how many countless people I gave information to, they did nothing with it. So, executing the information that you receive, YouTube is a you thing. This is about to cause a diversity uproar. I like it. Awesome Austin said, do you like how 2K releases news about their upcoming games, or would you rather them announce everything in one day so you could pre-order quicker? The only issue that I have with the way in which 2K releases their news is that they don't show you the gameplay first before asking you to pre-order. I would prefer that they give the last Corsair report that they just did with all this information and Mike Wang answering all these questions. I would prefer that they do that prior to offering pre-orders. And it don't have to be everything because there's still a ton more news to receive. But just information like what they gave out this time, I'm flooded with info. It's so much information I could barely keep up with making videos on them. And that's how it should be prior to offering pre-orders, in my opinion. ICJ, what up, man? Blessings, blessings. Hey, low-key, that Scotty dribble move might not be the same anymore. A lot of things have changed with the game. Remember, we all used to use LaMarcus Aldridge's jump shot, facts, and that ish booty now. It's facts, yeah. The game is slower pace, but they're talking about faster pace. And like you mentioned here, dribbling has changed a lot in NBA 2K26. Branching and chaining moves will generally feel more responsive. That's not all. I'll bring the next one up because there's changing directions, which I'll bring up right now, accompanied by, because it ain't like I'm reading that one thing and I'm saying, yes, we're getting Scottie Pippen back. No, we need to know what it's like to change directions. This is what I was talking about in the last live stream. I mentioned the behind the backs that allow you to change direction. I mentioned exactly that. And ironically, Mike Wang talked about this in this particular Q&A. We're going to go back in and pull up changing directions. Okay, so I can read along. Are there any changes to bursts and changes in direction for ball handlers? We spent some time tuning the dribbler's ability to start, stop, and cut. The speed and tightness of changing directions will vary based on ratings and dribble style. Again, with the dribble styles, the 2K community is going to find out the absolute best dribble style that accommodates speed and shiftiness. Last year, remember the Jalen Brisk. Oh, hold on, what the homie said here. When 2K comes out, how long do you think it'll take until the 2K community starts complaining? Day one. People will start complaining on day one, especially when it comes to shooting. You've seen the sensitivity I did. We're going to talk about the sensitivity on the baseline, Coach Z Facts. Now, what they're going to do is probably be in one of the seasons for Scottie Pippen behind the back. That would suck. I ain't gonna front. If they put Scottie Pippen behind the back in one of the seasons, what at West End, that's gonna really suck. What do you think about the defender on your hip when driving and going for layups? Could be OP if used correctly. I was thinking the same thing. I even mentioned it in one of the videos. He's talking about the protect the ball. There's two ways to protect. That quick protect option that ball handlers are gonna have now. You could quickly protect the rock when a defender is in front of you, spamming. If you press the button to quickly protect, it's a new feature, then he'll put his body between, the defender and the ball. The ball handler will do that. But there's a secondary option for using the quick protect, and that's when you're driving. And as you're driving, if you initiate quick protect, you will decelerate. And that in turn, if a defender's trailing behind you, it's almost like a crab. And that defender will be locked onto your hip, and you could perform moves like I imagine you could perform moves like Luka, but I imagine more people are going to use something like that to get that crab going. So imagine you decelerate and then go into, you got a center who's still in the paint, you beat your defender, you trigger the quick protect, which will decelerate your player, and now you could do a floater. That's, I could see so many different ways to use that, or decelerate earlier and then speed up past, the center as he picks up on a floating animation. He jumps for a floater and you just blow past him. So many different ways we could use that. I could see ways that the 2K community will exploit that whole new mechanic. Do you like this year's jump shot or next year's jump shot? And what's your opinion on timing rebounds? Is what Awesome Austin said. I don't know what jump shot. I don't know how jump shots are going to be in NBA 2K26. That's still to be determined. On NBA 2K25, I liked the actual jump shot animations, but I didn't like the shifting green window. So hopefully they get rid of, I dropped the whole video today talking about every single change that's coming to shooting. So if you guys want to see that, it's on my channel. I uploaded it today. I do wonder if it's missed time. Would we get the animation like bump steals? I hope not. The bump steals, it was just silly. Jay-Z made an interesting point. He can see 2K not patching steal if that board protect works well. So they talked about steals, which I'll pull up now because we're talking about it now. I'll pull that up right now as well. He did send out something about steals. This might be new to y'all because he's dropping this, like this all happened today. All this information we're sharing on this live stream, it was ongoing right now. I just went into the Discord and saw him typing. I didn't actually see Mike Wang typing, but when you're in Discord, it says Baluba is typing. So I'm pull that up. These are on steals, and let me get it up so I could talk about it with y'all. Are there any changes to pluck steals and lane steals? I did see the new Luca, yeah. I did see he's trimmed down as well. Green or misses a W for me as well. Are there any changes to pluck steals and lane steals? Answered by Mike Wang. On-ball steal targeting and steal animations have been improved to reward defenders who position themselves well and anticipate a dribbler's moves. There's the beauty right here. And 2K is really owning this year. I'm not going to let them get away with what they did to us in past years when we were calling out canned animations. But anyway, the canned animation pluck steals have been almost entirely disabled. Pass interceptions have been tuned a bit, but are similar in effectiveness to 2K25, and I like that. I was thinking that, while we was getting all this information, I said they don't need to do much with passing lane steals. I got a point guard out there who has very little defense, 70-something steal, and I get a lot of passing lane steals with my point guard playing out of the corner when we play our zone defense, and I think that's sufficient. I don't get every steal, but I do get a decent amount of steals. And at playing point guard, I understand who's the defender on the court, which way to pass. So I got to pass more cautiously when this particular defender is on this side of the court. So I like the way steals have been balanced out in NBA 2K25, and I'm glad that they're bringing that into NBA 2K26. But it said the canned animation pluck steals have been almost entirely disabled. I don't know what that means. What is gonna look like, because there was way too much bumping going on. Bumping that as a point guard, maybe some of you guys, if you don't put the ball down, maybe you don't really know what I'm referring to. But as a point guard, you have a defender beat. You want to take a lane because you're already 2 or 3 steps ahead of him. You want to take this lane straight to the rack, but it takes this winding route, allowing the defender to cut more towards the basket and cut off that lane that was wide open for you. So if there's movement improvements for ball handlers, like they mentioned there is, along with, the elimination of these canned animations, this all might be a good thing. And some of you guys, it might take a little getting used to, because the older ways of playing defense back in the day, there wasn't nearly as many bumps. Like 2K didn't allow for you to just lock up because you're close to the ball handler. The ball handler had freedom. If you didn't get in front of him, then you're chasing beside him. It wasn't like a lockup animation just because you got your player to get beside him. There was a lot of hand holding on defense in NBA 2K25. I didn't mind it so much. I just didn't like how often these bumping animations changed what I was queuing up on my controller. For instance, I'll give you guys a for instance, and I'll get to the chat. Facts, invisible walls, facts. I'm breaking down my defender. I get a step ahead, and now because he's trailing beside me, the bump animation activates, and when I recognize that he caught up and he's beside me, I'm thinking, let me escape backwards. But when I trigger my escape, the bump animation takes place, which is the canned animation. Soon as that bump happens, we both lose control. I can no longer control my player because I queue up and escape, which is the step away from the defender. Let go of the left stick, queue up my escape, and it won't even register anything that I queued up. Or at times it will end up in a queue, wait for the bump to finish after it drags me 2 or 3 more steps. I let go of my left stick already. The canned animation pushes me 2 or 3 more steps toward the paint. And then because it went into a queue, it'll then activate the button that the controller queue that I had queued up 2 or 3 steps back. So, they have a lot to work out. It was obviously and clear as day a lack of coding, a lack of work on the developer's part. Too many instances. I'm sure they have a lot to take, into consideration, but these were like key fundamental aspects that weren't ever in the game. Like I said, 2K marketed the impact engine to us. All this bumping and stuff was flaws in the system. And 2K said, well, we got a flaw. How do we sell it to them? That's how it seems. There's a flaw here. How do we sell it to them? So they labeled it the impact engine. He also just posted about standing dunks. Yep, we got that as well. We got everything in here, yeah. We got it all. We got the standing dunks. We got it all, yeah. We're going to go through everything. Don't you hate when you're trying to block the offensive player and they be making goofy layups and ish? City facts. I think we're going to see a lot more of that. For some reason, the way in which they're marketing layups, to me, it makes me feel like we're going to see a lot more dunks getting taken out and put into layups. And they're going to push the community towards, making good use of the layup animations. Baseline sensitivity. We went over changing directions. We got standing dunks. The post go-to cancels. Let's go into baseline sensitivity, because that was a huge issue. Again, it was like the baseline was such an option for me. I'm going to pull it up right now. The baseline was such an option for me in regards to slashing over the years. And in recent years, 2K, since the release of 21, 2K has been working hard to eliminate the baseline, making the baseline out of bounds sensitivity just too much, and it eliminated it as an option for players. Not to mention the sideline as well. You dribble down. There was a sideline glitch this year. I don't know how many of you guys know about it, but if you didn't take advantage of the sideline glitch and your defender bumped you and you're like 2 steps away from the sideline, that defender could bump you right out of bounds. It was just absolutely silly. But in regards to the baseline, have there been any changes to the baseline sensitivity? Mike Wang saying that he was aware of this. Yes, there was an improvement to address the baseline sensitivity, especially when attempting baseline layups. You see how much they're marketing layups? I find that extremely fishy in the same way that they tried to market the impact engine. It feels like I think people are going to be frustrated with finishing dunks this year. I would be surprised. I would love to be wrong about this, but watching 2K market and consistently plug layups, it's like, why would you say layups? Especially, why would you say that? Doing a step back on the baseline was an automatic turnover. I'll wait for your review, City. I trust you a whole lot more than I do Fortune 500 company. I appreciate that, Richard Conway. I'll definitely keep it a buck with y'all, because it's the way our channel has been started, and sharing information and stuff and sharing my opinion on stuff is because I was a player first, always, still am. I'm a player first. I get out there. I see what I complain about and what I find frustrating, and I also gather the information from a ton of people in our Discord. Our Discord has over 33,000 members, the All City Discord, #1 2K Discord out there. Y'all all welcome to join. If you're looking for players to run with, you want to be on good vibes, if you're on that type of time, just type !Discord in this live stream chat, and the link will come up and you could join today. That's the baseline sensitivity and made no effort to fix it. What up, OG? Hey, OG, I hope you're having a blessed day as well, man. Salute, salute, bro. What up, Mud Dog? I just posted about standing dunks being reworked. It just posted about standing. I'll pull up the image for standing dunks. I have it here, being that the homie is talking about it. I'll tell you guys what they're saying about standing dunks. There it is right there. And I'll read it. Which y'all, are there any improvements to standing dunks? You gotta speak the 2K language to understand what they're trying to say here. We've reworked the logic for standing dunks to make them more reliable for bigs who aren't too crowded under the rim. If that's not ultimate finesse right there, the issue with standing dunks have never been when someone is too crowded. Like, do you get what I'm saying? So being that they mentioned when for bigs who aren't too crowded, the issue is I want to play like a big man. So if these defenders are smaller than me, I want a shack attack. Am I wrong about saying that? If you're that type of big, you want to feel like an inside big man. If you're a post scoring big, you want some more finesse in your post moves. But if you're a big dog, then you're trying to play like a strong big man. The fact that they've made standing dunks more reliable for bigs who aren't too crowded under the rim. Finesse. Probably going to see the same exact. I'll continue on. We've also retuned standing dunks to have generally larger green windows to compensate for how fast most of those dunks are. Okay. The standing dunk meters were really, really fast. I ain't gonna front. And I liked some of the standing dunks that were going in. What up, PJ? But you know, come on, nobody wants to hear that. We've reworked the logic for standing dunks. Period. Move on. To make them more reliable for bigs who aren't too crowded under the rim. Bigs don't want to hear that. No, whether they make or miss, that's one thing. You make or miss. The conversion is one thing. But I think most players, most bigs, want to see the animation play through. So if you're going into a contact dunk animation, tell me if I'm wrong. You guys let me know if I'm wrong about that. But if you're playing like Shaq, whether you complete the dunk or not, you do want the animation to go up strong and try to yam it strong and give that wow effect to the defense and for your teammates. Like, oh, word, he tried to bang on me. Whether he got it or not, everybody's like, oh, word, you know, and now they're trying to get their get back. Do you get what I'm saying? That's been the nature of the game. But when you have a big man in the paint, facing the rim, right under the rack, in the restricted zone, you're there, you're thinking, I'm going to yam out. And then you go up with the absolute softest layup animation, softer than any point guard driving on a center. It's frustrating. One, it's frustrating for me to see it. And I'm sure it's frustrating for players who want to play stronger. My 7-footer should be able to finish on a shooting guard or point guard under me with no interior defense, point blank, period. Why is it that point guards with no defense, or a lot of players with no defense, they're able to contest and change the animations of gigantic 7-footers?
W in the chat, bro.
Goofy layups, all 26. Yeah, I think layups might end up being OP. He said ballerina layup knock you out your whole dunk animation. Am I not speaking facts? Yeah. Like I said, man, I be out there. I'm a player first. I've always liked playing the big man position, but 2K's gameplay mechanics in regards to center builds are extremely limiting. The crazy part is that we've already had years where we had the glass cleaning finisher, and we also had the paint beast that played like big men, strong. So throughout the years, we've had instances where we've seen big men play strong. And then, for some reason, I don't know what 2K has against big man bills. They look soft out there. What up, Fat Karma? What's good? Probably because interior defense didn't work on 25 because of the weight. I went to 99 midi and was getting so mad. They need to fix the rebounding to bigs, bro. I have a difference of opinion on that. I think rebounding in NBA 2K25 was really, really good in my opinion. I didn't like sometimes the trajectory of some of these rebounds, but in general, I think rebounding was really, really good. I ended up making a 7-1 and a 7-1 big man. This is because I was running point guard and we ended up running with the good homie Javi. And I saw what he was doing with his big man build, and I was like, what? He's jumping, grabbing so many offensive boards. So I said, yo, Javi, I need to see that build. And sure enough, I ended up making the same build, doing the same exact thing, jumping over a lot of big men who try to go 7 foot or maybe even 6'11". It was just really fun. So if you had the right build out there, agile, my 7-1 was agile and athletic. If you had the right build out there, then, you had no issue getting boards. 7-1, 99 old board in the rec was OP. Facts. That's what I had. Yeah. Was for fast breaks. I can't remember is what, so that was the standing dunk improvements, changing directions. We went over steals, post goal, shot meter off. Okay, yeah, shot meter off. Let's talk about that. I'll bring that up. Give me 1 second. Shot meter off. I think I want to put this on. Give me 1 second here. Let me put this on because these things start annoying me. Put that there. Shot meter off. Let me put that up. Okay. Will there be a boost for turning the shot meter off? As you guys know, when you should take off your shot meter, you normally get a boost. Turning the shot meter off will slightly increase the size of your green window on NBA 2K26 for those who didn't know. The pull the chair animation. Can we pull the chair when being back down in the paint? You guys know post scorers got a little bit of an edge this year in NBA 2K26 with the go-to shot. So now it's like post scorers going to have training wheels and 2K is going to automatically put them into go-to shot animation simply by holding up on your stick. So I imagine there's going to be some more post scorers this year. And it says, yes, you can pull the chair in the post by tapping circle when the offensive player makes contact on you. Talking about tapping circle, people were asking and concerned about flashy passes, being that 2K has now incorporated wrap passes. And the way in which you activate a wrap pass is by double tapping circle, which was the input for flashy passes. Since double tapping circle with B is wrap passes now, can you still do flashy passes? Flashy passes have been moved to cross and circle, so you have to press them together, or A and B. Self alley-oops are now mapped to square and triangle. Man, they keep moving that. Didn't they move it again this past year? Now a square and triangle? That's going to be kind of odd to throw alley-oop. Oh, self alley-oops. All right. So it's not a regular alley-oop. You guys, I don't know how many of you heard, but alley-oops. Let's get to the chat real quick. $20 bills. They haven't mentioned anything about it. Highly doubt that it's happening. Who was actually using go-to shots and how effective were they really in the online setting? I couldn't see it. I couldn't see opportunities. You could maybe do a go-to shot once here and there, possibly, but I couldn't see the effectiveness of go-to shots at all. They were too slow. Long-winded. Maybe some people did. I don't trust that because if you're passing to someone, it will not work and probably go out of bounds again. It's circle, triangle, bounce lobs. That's all it says, y'all. What you're reading is what I got. This is Mike Wang. He's right now going through the motions of sending out these Q&A. So I figured I'd go live. I compiled all of them that he sent out. And even while I was getting the screenshots, he was typing. So as more information comes out, I'll be going live again and dropping videos here on the channel. 258 in the chat. Why for oops on Xbox? Random buttons for alley-oops going to be annoying as hell. I already know. Well, yeah, so if you guys didn't know, in alley-oops on the higher difficulty modes, now when a point guard throws you an alley-oop, the finisher has to hit the correct button. I imagine they're going to flash the button on the screen for a quick second, and the finisher is going to have to press the corresponding button, the corresponding face button on their controller. It's not just you hit the square button anymore. On the lower difficulties, you are going to be able to retain just hitting the square button. But on the higher difficulty modes, you're going to have to press the corresponding button. I don't know what you guys think about that. Somebody said now 2K got us playing Guitar Hero for alley-oops. Mud Dog says, I use go-to shots all the time in my court. Yeah. Yeah, my court. I like that. I like that aspect though. It's gonna be fun to hoop and see everybody figure things out for real. I think so too. They're talking some good stuff. Shot meter off, no dip green window. Let me see if interesting. So let me pull this up. This one's interesting. Let me pull this one up. Which one was it? No dip. The no dip green window. So if you guys don't know, spot up shooters now have a new mechanic where you can set up, and I'm pretty sure it's the left trigger, you set up to catch the rock, and from where you catch the rock, normally you catch it at your chest, you could transition directly into a jump shot, as opposed to an NBA 2K25. Even if you were setting yourself up by holding that left trigger, sometimes you'll go into a dip animation down and then back up to kind of take your shot. Well, they're proposing that in NBA 2K26, automatically, if you set up, you're going directly into your jump shot. And someone asks, is the size of the green window different for no dip compared to regular catch and shoots? And Mike Wang responded saying the green window for quick catch and shoot shots are the same as regular shots. It's possible that this could change though in the future. Why? Rec center should be outdoors in the city with day and night cycles. Well, if you guys don't know, in NBA 2K26, there's no longer going to be day and night cycles. They have had some issues with lighting, so they've already confirmed that it's going to be one constant time, and that's daytime. Their marketing is awesome, but it's just a finesse every single year. I don't know. Trust me, I'll be able to keep it a buck with you as soon as we see that gameplay. But some of the things that they're proposing with their marketing means that they almost certainly have to make these changes in gameplay. And I've been filing all this information almost in preparation for them to fail. So 2K, if anybody at 2K is listening, watching, or this is shared with you guys, I hope y'all ready, because someone like me is preparing for you guys to fail, and I'm going to announce it on the big screen. I'm just going to go out there and make sure everyone knows what you tried to sell us and what was actually implemented. Everything is being filed correctly. This way is quick. I'm quickly able to reference this. Hold on, you said this. Why are we getting this? Yeah. Over the past few years, they have been disappointing me, way too much. And I haven't been filing information on their rollouts in the proper way. I would have to go back and reference and some of the things I forget and, all this stuff. So this time around, I'm like, right now I'm pulling these things that we're looking at, these Q&As are all filed away. So when we see something weird that doesn't match what they told us, trust me, a video comes out. We keep those receipts, Richard Conway. There's something like that there now where you can hold L2 before you get the ball. Yeah. So the difference is now if you hold L2, this is the difference in NBA 2K25. This is why it even came up in NBA 2K26. But the 2K community are the people who found out that if you hold L2, you can kind of set up, to receive a pass. But it wasn't all the time that it hit your hands at the chest area and then you transition directly into a quick shot. It wasn't all the time. It was inconsistent and erratic. And the main reason why is because 2K has shifting green windows. When that green window shifts to say like 47 milliseconds outside of your normal green window, this means they have to add that in the form of animation. So in the form of animation, if your green window is shifted 47 milliseconds outward, then to add to that, you're gonna have to bring the ball down and then go up and take the shot to make up for the 47 milliseconds. So that's my idea of what was happening, why animations were so different when shooting. But yeah, you were able to hold L2 and sometimes go into a quick shot animation. What up, Coins? What's good, man? The countdown. I'm still getting used to this soundboard thing. You guys asked me yesterday, yo, City, you should put the soundboard on. So I ended up pulling out the Stream Deck, the old stream. Well, it's not old. It's a fairly new Stream Deck. But I haven't used it pretty much all year. I'm going to get some chips and Mountain Dew and Lifesaver gummies and barbecue chicken wings when 26 drops. I'm going to be up all day and night playing the game. Do you think Zens will be a problem with no more shifting green windows? One, we don't know if there's going to be no more shifting green windows. They did mention a pure green window for NBA 2K26, but we're uncertain if that pure green window is going to shift. I could tell you this, yeah. I know I never been like a consistent stage player. Or the super high levels of competition, like playing throughout the year. I mainly played Park, and that transitioned into mainly playing Rec. We've had our runs in Pro-Am and all that good stuff, but playing at the highest competitive level, that was never my forte. I think those folks may see Zens more often. In the game modes that I normally run, Zens have never been a problem. At most, you probably ran into them, even at their peak, I probably ran into them 3 times out of a whole annual cycle. And it was noticeable when we did run into them, but it was never a game-breaking problem. Maybe for people who runs a stage consistently where they're wagering their VC, you might see more Zens. Or if you're running a lot of different events, you might see more Zens out there. So we'd have to like reference those type of players to see if they think it's going to be a problem in NBA 2K26. But I know in the more casual, friendly game modes like Park or Rec, never a concern of mine. Like rare. Rec all year, every other game mode. Every other game mode is what the homie said. Zens were no issue in the Rec. Yeah, I'm out there. So we're out there. I'm not just saying this. I'm out there every single day. So, I could tell you if it was a problem and I'll share it. I'll definitely share with no problem. Rebounding. That's one thing we need to talk about. All right, that's interesting. Let me pull that up because he talks some more about rebounding. As you guys know, you'll be able to green your rebounds this year. I know a lot of people are complaining about the rebounding, greening a rebound, but let me pull this over here because that's like all in my grill. If you don't green a rebound, can you still get it? What happens when 2 people both green a rebound? This is just an animation, yeah. It's not gonna help people. If you know how to play center, you know that this is gonna have no effect on how you play. You can still grab a rebound if you don't green the timing. And if a little player is trying to out-rebound the big, excellent timing will often not be enough to secure the board. If the big makes 0 effort and just stands there, the little guy will have a better chance with perfect timing, though. If 2 players green the rebounding timing, the outcome is decided by positioning, ratings, and height. The core mechanics around how rebounding work works, those aren't changing, just like I was explaining. The core mechanics behind that, if you play big, is going to be like no changing for you. Timing your jump has always been an important aspect of rebounding. The indicator was added just to help players help them understand how rebounding works. That's exactly what I said. It's just like an animation, a green animation. That's all you're getting. It's not changing anything about the game. There's just an indicator there to say, yeah, you did jump at a good timing. Yeah, it's just an indicator. They just said motion styles will have a big effect in gameplay in 26. Let me go into our Discord and start pulling that. Yes, motion styles. I'll save that and save image. Motion styles. Yep. Let me see what else, if he's posted anything else. No, that was the standing dunks, and now we're on to motion styles. So I'll pull that up on the stream. Who was that just said that? Coach Z. Thank you, Coach Z. I'm going to pull it up right now. That's what they just mentioned about motion styles. And I'm going to be reading it with you guys. It says, do motion styles have an effect on gameplay? Yes, motion styles are driven by pro play, just like dribble styles. So some styles will naturally be quicker and more explosive than others. For NBA 2K26, we've added rating gates. So you'll need higher attributes to equip the more effective styles this year. What do y'all think about that, man? As you guys know, before you could damn near equip any motion style, and now they're putting gates on them where your attributes need to match in order for you to acquire a particular motion style. It seems like the mechanic is there now, but you just don't see the indicator. Facts, yeah. They've just added, the only thing they added in rebounding was the indicator. Nothing has changed. Nothing. Are you making a tall guard is what Rashawn 2K said. I'm uncertain, yeah. I'm uncertain. I think whatever, if I go for the point guard position, that first point guard is going to be a throwaway build. What are those trial and errors? He's going, said the look on your face. Yeah, because it's like, come on, y'all getting out of hand. They're getting out of hand. Just give us the motion style. It's the way in which, and then why are some motion styles? Listen, speed kills always. If you're ever like wondering which direction to go in a 2K game, speed is always the way to go. Always. And 2K has always catered to speed. The sun with the coding. It's always been that way. You accommodate with other stuff, but speed is always going to be beneficial for you. So why would you make motion styles different? What would be more effective than speed in a motion style? I get, we could break it down like lateral quickness, but in regards to 2K's motion, that all ties into speed. Start with a 6'7" or 6'8". I'm leaning towards a 6'6", actually. Yeah. I imagine that they might nerf the 6'6s. I think that would be the first build. I think a lot of people are going to try 6'6s because the worst case scenario, if you make a 6'6 at the point guard to test out, the effectiveness of a taller guard dribbling, you could always move that build to the hash. And then, if 2K26 favors small guards, then, you'll have a hash and you can make a small guard after that. So I even just mentioning that, I might consider going that way. Have you talked about the slingshot effect yet? And they haven't mentioned the slingshot effect. I don't think 2K will acknowledge the slingshot effect. But the slingshot effect is RNG. And from what 2K is proposing, there's no longer RNG in shooting. That doesn't mean there's no longer RNG in the game. They haven't said anything yet, but they are referencing the idea that they're giving control back to the players and they want it to be a more skill-based gameplay in NBA 2K26. And a lot of the information we're receiving definitely does complement that idea. They're giving it back to the player. And some of the stuff that I'm reading, well, a lot of the stuff that I'm reading does lend to the idea that we are going back to the older versions of gameplay. Period. So I'm not shocked. The blueprint is already there. I'm not shocked that we're, the stuff I'm reading. It might be shock treatment for some of you, some of the newer players to the 2K franchise. But it's nothing for 2K to kind of peel everything back now. Everything they worked on over the last 5 years, all these different changes to shooting, shot timing variations, shifting green windows, now is getting peeled back and thrown away. This is the 2K way. And now they're going to peel it back and present us what we once had already. NBA 2K19. A lot of what they're saying it seems like that. Mars, wagwan, Mars, wagwan. He says, joining late. I'm not seeing you smile, so I'm assuming 2K pulled the okie doke. No. Maybe I'm just, there's just been a lot. It's just been a lot. It's been nonstop for me since yesterday. Very little sleep, just continuing gathering information and trying to create and keep up. But yeah, no, I'm happy. I'm happy about everything 2K is talking about for 2K26. I like the direction they're headed. My main concern right now is whether or not they'll be able to execute. That's like my main concern now. And then they pretend it's something different. Just a chill guy is what he said. Avoid 6ix9ine. Wayne Flu will slow it down. What they got against 6ix9ines, right? Like they got so much against 6ix9ines. They always remove features, then bring them back and call them new. This is what they do. If you've been here long enough, then you know this to be the case. I've been doing this stuff for a while. So, you see them and they're like, hold on, we had that feature. How are you presenting this as we did this already? But marketing does not let anything go by without a finesse. I may make a Daniel Gafford build or Anthony Davis build for 26. All right, so that's what we got so far in regards to the news. This is everything. I'm keeping you guys up to date with everything that's going on, all the questions that are being answered, and then we talk about it. I share my thoughts about it. And then I work on creating a video after I gather you guys' feedback and your sentiment, how you're feeling about what you're hearing, and gather all this information together so that you can go to like one stop to find out information about shooting. I just dropped all the changes for shooting. Everything we learned about shooting so far, I've compiled everything and put that into a video. And that's on my channel right now. And I'm going to do the same thing for finishing, general overall defense and also playmaking. Huge changes to playmaking that I'm anticipating, but it seems to just reference the older versions of 2K. Did they mention any new badges or remove? I'm surprisingly, they haven't mentioned badges. Surprisingly, nobody's even talking about badges. I'm surprised, even you mentioning it right now, it didn't even cross my mind with all this information. How come badges haven't come up? I'm for sure they seen one of your videos. Possibly, yeah, I could say that. I'm sure they know who I am. It's been more fast-paced. It being a more fast-paced game, hopefully the slingshot effect is gone. This 50-point rec final score is boring. Let the better team win and do their thing. Period, man. Period. I've broken down why we have 50-point games with engagement optimized matchmaking plenty of times. I don't want to deep dive into that again, but you guys look up engagement optimized matchmaking in the UCLA study and you'll know for yourself why the scores are so close and so different in NBA 2K25 than any other 2K in 2K history. Can 6'7" stand contact dunk, or is it restricted to height? I'm not sure. They haven't mentioned it. There are going to be height cap restrictions. They confirmed that. We were thinking that maybe there weren't going to be height cap restrictions, but I'm uncertain of what the 6'7" in particular is going to be able to get in NBA 2K26. What do you think about adrenaline bars with dribbling? I like what they're doing with adrenaline bars. Also, they were talking about dexing, players, because of the L2 cheese and NBA 2K25, players who are dexing back and forth will lose an adrenaline bar as well. If you're spamming escape moves, you're going to lose an adrenaline bar as well. So they're trying to balance that out. Contact dunks, not restricted to smaller builds. Engagement-based matchmaking similar to Call of Duty. Engagement optimized. The idea is it's exactly what it says in the wording. They want to optimize engagement. And through matchmaking, they make that happen. You hope the charge card badge is back. I wonder what I'm surprised they haven't mentioned badges, though. I am really surprised they haven't talked about badges or mentioned badges. I'm sure there's been questions about badges. The last thing Mike Wang did mention was motion styles. We give more VC for our endorsements. Facts. I would like to see more VC for our endorsements. All right, y'all. So I'm going to get back to it. Like normal, I come on to a live stream, share what we got, and then hop off and make a video. That's what we're going to do now. If I get any additional information, it's only 5 o'clock now. I may consider going live again. But I'll be making another video right now. If you guys would like to join me in our Discord for some runs, especially this year, just type !Discord. The link will come up and you'll be able to join. Frank Daniel said 2K will probably talk about badges in another week. It's a marketing thing. I was thinking that too. That's what just crossed my mind, Frank Daniel. I should be able to speed, move with intention off any dribble move. A simple between the legs, then hitting the turbo should allow me to hit the gap in the defense. I feel your pain, Bob Duncan. And, that's what they said. We went over that in this live stream, and they're bringing back the Scottie Pippen behind the back to change direction quicker and split defenders. The movement that we once had in older versions of 2K looks like it's coming back. I appreciate y'all, man. As always, salute. Wishing y'all all a safe and blessed rest of your evening, man. It is... it is Friday, man. I might consider just gaming. I might consider just hopping on and gaming, taking a little breather. You guys are welcome to join me, man. I be in the Rec Warriors chat within our Discord. You guys are always welcome to come in. There's 2 ways to get into, the party chat that I'm in. You can either subscribe to our Discord or you can wait for tryouts. And if you show out in tryouts for the Rec Warriors, you'll have access to the same party chats that I be in. I always run with the Rec Warriors. It's about 300 plus Rec Warriors, and these guys have been scouted from the 33,000 plus members we have in our Discord. All of you guys are welcome to join. I'd love to have y'all. Wishing y'all safe and blessed rest of your Friday night. I'll catch y'all on the next video or live stream. Easy, y'all.